Hey everybody, this is Mike, and I am uploading my third segment to YouTube on the Repel the Static series. This segment has to do with a discovery that was published a few days ago by the J. Craig Venter Institute, JCVI, in Rockville, Maryland. Now, back in 2008, J. Craig Venter first officially created synthetic life in the laboratory, but couldn't get it to reproduce. 2009, they tried it again. Just a few days ago, they were able to successfully create synthetically the Mycoplasma bacteria and have it reproduce naturally like it does in nature. Now, this raises a whole new set of rules. Creating synthetic life. I don't know even where to begin with something like this because, the next paradigm of human evolution has always been thought to be computers, has always been thought to be robotics, cybernetics, artificial intelligence. I don't believe anybody in their wildest dreams would ever think that somebody could create a living organism the same way they create a computer. Sure, you have movies like Avatar and Splice, and you knew that the technology was eventually going to be here. But you didn't expect the technology here for about another decade. Now, the same man who mapped the human genome back in 2000 and gave every geneticist, biologist, chemist, and every other scientific discipline the entire human genome, along with hundreds of other organisms, their genomes as well, has now created synthetic life. J. Craig Venter may possibly be the smartest man that has ever lived. Now, what does this mean? Well, as soon as the press release hit, Obama and the White House automatically said, hey, stop, you know what, we need to dig into the ethical issues of this before, we really start to pursue this. Now, everybody knows pharmaceutical companies get patents every time they isolate a gene or every time they create a medication to help some sort of illness because of it being genetically linked. That company gets a patent, and that patent is only controlled by that company. So, they could effectively mass produce doses of medication for a specific illness for $1 a dose. Turn around and bill the insurance company $100,000. Now, okay, the financial aspect is all great because, that's just how it's centered. It's all centered on the quarterly profit line. And, what does that quarterly profit statement say for that company? No. Take for now the instance of synthetic life. J. Craig Venter and his JCVI, the J. Craig Venter Institute in Rockville, Maryland. The same rules apply. He has developed the very first revolutionary new technology in creating synthetic life. And he will hold a patent for that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, synthetic life is the beginning phase of entering us into a new paradigm of human evolution. In 2000, it was a big deal just to see the human genome mapped, see all 25,000 genes. Although a lot of geneticists kind of took that as a slap in the face, because plankton, for example, has 90,000 genes. And a certain kind of fern that grows in tropical forests has twice as many genes as us, and yet it has no flowers, and it's only green. So why do such simple organisms have such a complex genetic structure? Well, here we are, seemingly, on top of a food chain, on top of our universe, and we have fewer genes than mostly everything else out there. To me, there's a big problem. We understand life. Scientists understand how life works. They can break down the double helix. They can break it down into the chromosomes, into the genes, to the exons, to the introns. They can break it down to the nucleotide bases. They can see where A and T and C and G will only meet. They understand mitosis. They understand birth. But the problem is, we don't understand life. We don't understand how life works. I don't know how I'm able to speak. I don't know how I'm able to see. I don't know how I'm able to think. For all I know, the 10 trillion cells that make up my body are 10 trillion conscious sentient beings. We all know that cells talk to each other. It's been proven. And there's a mysterious force that interlinks all cells called the intramolecular force. Now, nobody quite understands this force. Biophysicists are starting to question it, and they're starting to delve into it, but nobody knows. Just because we can do something, it doesn't mean that we should. It's like when we first developed the atomic bomb. I mean, yeah, we proved that just how powerful uranium-235 can be when put into a compact little ball and then imploding it. We found out how much power is in the structure of the atom. Now we're getting down to the genetics of life. Now, the understanding of life and genetics to me is perfectly acceptable. It's fine. I love it. I love reading about it. I love learning about it. But here's the problem. All this technology and all this growth is spurred on by one thing. It's spurred on by money. And it's spurred on by shareholders. And it's spurred on by the quarterly, by the quarterly profit reports that are generated 4 times a year about these companies. So the technology gets developed not because we should, but because they can make money at it. Now, you take the Resident Evil series, for example. The Umbrella Corporation controlled everything. They even have their own flippin' army. Now, what can happen in something like this with synthetic life? We always thought of computers and cybernetics as being the next big thing, but what happens when you mix organic life on this hand, and then you have robotics and artificial intelligence on this hand? What happens when you blend organic life, artificial intelligence, and robotics? That's something that can't be thought up. That's something that scientists can't even begin to wonder about. That is the new paradigm of human evolution. And it's right here in front of us. There needs to be some serious bioethical concerns. They need to dissect this. They need to break it down into all of its little constituent parts before more and more research is dumped into this. This has the humongous ability to backfire. But this backfire is something that all humanity should be concerned with. Creating synthetic life, when we don't understand life, we don't understand why we're here, how we're here, how are we a conscious, sentient being? How is all life interconnected? Everything on planet Earth, whether you like it or not, is interconnected. Everything, me, the bed I sit on, the trees, the air, the grass, the dirt, the rocks, the birds, all the other animals, we are all interconnected. We have to understand that interconnectedness before we need to start playing around with life. Because once you start playing around with life, Mother Nature, a lot of people consider Mother Nature to be a truly beautiful, symbiotic, living thing. And I believe that Mother Nature is a symbiotic, living thing. But I believe nature is a savage bitch as well. And once you unleash something and nature grabs a hold of it, there's not much else you can do. So thanks for your time. And I'll upload a new video here probably tomorrow. Have a good one.